Some nitty gritty soul music on Billboard's Hot 100, July 27th, 1974. Don Covay at number 63, I do believe. Let me bring that up for you real quick. Number 63, It's Better to Have and Don't Need. Don Covay, he's been kicking around for years before he came out with that record. He started out in his family's gospel quartet. His dad was a Baptist minister. He was born in South Carolina, but his dad passed away when he was 8 years old. And Don Covay, he moved with his family to Washington, D.C., joined his family quartet, and he migrated to a group called the Rainbows back in the 50s, back in the early to mid 50s, a doo-wop group ranging from doo-wop to soul music. This is Don Covay over the years, written quite a few. Well, first off, he bounced around between record labels, various record labels over the years, Columbia. I believe he might have been with Cameo Parkway for a while, and Atlantic Records, and he signed with Mercury in 1972. I'll get to the Mercury part in just a minute. Written a number of hit records over the years. A Letter Full of Tears, he wrote that. Glass Night in the Pits, one of their early hits back in 1961. Wilson Pickett's first single with the Atlantic record label, or one of his early singles with the Atlantic record label, I'm Gonna Cry, Cry Baby, written by Don Covay. Don Covay written Chain of Fools, which was covered by Aretha Franklin. Although Don Covay, he wrote that song back in the 50s, early 50s, when he was in his family's gospel quartet, and wrote another song. He wrote another song that was hit for Aretha Franklin called Seesaw. Don Covay, he originally did that song himself in 1965, but it didn't make top 40. Somewhat bigger hit, though, for Aretha Franklin several years later. He wrote Pony Time. He co-wrote that song with John Barry, formerly of the Rainbows, former bandmate of the Rainbows. And Pony Time, covered by Don Covay and his band, the Good Timers. Excuse me. Still trying to shrug off this minor chest infection or cold. Just bear with me. But Don Covay's version was not a hit. Didn't make top 40. But Ernest Evans, a.k.a. Chubby Checker, he had the hit with it. 1961, 1962. Went to number one, I believe. Pony Time by Chubby Checker. He was on a roll with these dances. Big support from Dick Clark on the famed Cameo Parkway label back in the early 60s. But Don Covay signed with Mercury Records in 1972. He worked on an album called Super Dude. Had his biggest pop hit off that album. I Was Checking In. Well, I always get the title mixed up. I was checking out, she was checking in, or it might have been I was checking out, she was checking in. Either way, that was a pretty substantial pop hit for Don Covay back in 1973. And It's Better to Have and Don't Need, a follow-up to that, on Billboard's Hot 100 for 6 weeks back in the summer of 1974, up from 67 to 63 on Billboard's Hot 100 for just 6 weeks. That's it. Don Covay.